Okay, so the very common way to do it is create a new layer, and after this using healing spot or brush and going over. And it's have a couple problems is, so let's just show you example. We're creating new layer. I'm going to create healing brush, and healing brush work this way, so you can select the area where you can want to take texture and go over. So in some area like right here, it's maybe work okay, so we can, let me go ahead and select current and below layers. Okay, and you can see it's applied very well. And how does it work? It's using similar to frequency separation effect. But the problem is if we're going closer right here and I want to take on edge, you can see it start going over right here, kind of smudging effect apply. So we go right here and you can see it start does not produce properly on the edges. And the reason is why, because how does it work tool, it's apply blurring and going around. So let's look on some properly way to do this, or the way it's not so much as properly, because whatever you're doing in your workflow, as long as it's produced properly result, that is properly workflow. This is workflow will help you just a little bit better on some of the small details. So what we're going to do, it is separate them by frequency. But before do this, let me go ahead and create new layer, combine them, use this one as a test to showing you. And the very common for the frequency separation, let's do this way. Have it low, high, and we will separate by frequency or by the details. So on one layer, we'll have the bigger details, contrast area. For example, right here you can see we have it lighter, darker, and lighter area. If we imagine in black and white, this is will go contrast change, and this is frequency, how often it's changed. The hair right here or on a chin, that will be faster change of the frequency. So we will separating small details or skin texture from the general shape. And we can, this is how normal, not normal, but majority people will do. They going and they using Gaussian blur, and they'll move the Gaussian blur till small details is gone to the point. You want to keep it the same, so we'll go maybe about 7. Notice how it's blur on the outside right here. This is blurring. Your edges, around edges start blurring, and that is what will create other effect. So in a high, one way you can always do it, just go and use it overlay and high pass, or you can also, people use it image, apply image. And because right now we're in 8-bit, so we will do, let's go select low layer, subtract to an 8. Right here we can go to linear light. So overall, if we preview, it's about the same, but you see the blurring give it us this effect because it does blur around. And with compositing, it's kind of harder to control this way. Also, if you're going to modify, we will start having this blur on the edges effect as well. In some cases, people perceive this as a color separation. For example, this is one color and this is texture. That is actually incorrect, because if you look closer, you can see right here, we still have our color going. It's separating, it's perceived this way because we're going by the frequency on a higher or lower. So if we're going and switch to the black and white, let's go to add right here. So you can see right here we have it smaller details. We don't have a general big shape. It's look a little bit flat to us because we're going for the smaller changes in the contrast. And right here we have a bigger object, like right there, contrast change. So this is what considered. It's not color and texture separation. This is separation by a frequency of the black and white or contrast. Okay, this is one way. The other ways what I like to do it is so we have a mask. We can preserve the mask on this. Let's go just create new layer for purpose of this tutorial, and we're going to create duplicate. So let's go call this low, and we'll just call this high. Okay, the right way actually to do this is we're using surface blur, and as example we can go look and preview. So before we do this for the surface blur, let me go to create test layer. This will be just to observe effect. Let's go to invert, and we'll say this opacity to 50. So this is just should be all gray. And the reason what I want to do this so we can see how line will work. The next we'll go as we select our lower. Let's go to the filter, blur, and we're going to the surface blur. Okay, you can notice right here how it's coming up. And surface blur, what I want to do is look on these edges. What does Photoshop does with surface blur? It's detect contrast on the edge and preserve the sharpness. So this way it's work a little bit right. We still have it on these larger objects with not frequency nice moving. So we'll remove all of the small details, and you can see right here. But at the same time we don't blur those edges. And the problem is if you're going other ways, you always need fight between what is the radius I should give it. Do I want smooth details, but same time I start going off the edges. So I do recommend use it surface blur for this. And it usually depend what you need it. You can work with the radius, increase or decrease. Again, think about this radius is detection radius. And threshold, usually I keep it a little bit below. It's the edge of detection for the small details. So if we're going far, you can see we start blurring them out, and probably have it about 5 pixels below. Will work very safe. So I'm going to look on a skin right here, and you can see it's kind of smoothed out, so it look okay. We still have it nice edges on a small details. Same right there. It's look good. We can maybe pop up even a little bit more. Okay. Let's click OK. I don't need this test. It's just to preview so we can see how the change will apply. So right here is our blur one. And if I want to do exactly the same as a normal blur, so as a compare, we can go right here. So if I do on a blur, we go to the blur. To even achieve same effect, I still have it right here. I need to go about 4 pixels maybe. Yeah, let's compare this one. Just overall skin, not even closer on a smoothness, so you can see the difference between this. Okay, let's delete this one. And a high pass will do same things. We'll go use it there. Apply image. And we'll just leave it low, subtract, so it's all same. If you're using 16-bit, you need to have it 0 offset, and it will be add mode. So it's a little bit different on 16-bit, but idea is the same thing. So let's go click OK, and we'll switch this to linear light. At this point, we can preview. We can still, you can see, have a little bit halo, but not as much. And that is the reason why I'm keeping layer below. So if you do without mask, you can always take them and kind of assign, so it will preserve some masking through the clipping those layers to our main. So you can always, we can cut off that way. Same on an edge, on a, if you're using with blur, but blur won't help right internally right here. So the next things what I want to do is take and, okay, let's go to remove them right now. Now we need to work on fixing some blemishes. So I'm going to create a couple of fixed layers. Okay. We'll clip to the low. We'll create another fixed layer right here. Okay, so we'll have it fixed for low and a fixed for high. Okay, let's go to blue on a high and red on a low, so kind of can distinguish them. Okay, next let's fix first our lower passes. And for this one, actually what I recommend to do is using mix brush tool, so it will combine like smudge, and a tool will go to set some, maybe 20 even. Let's go, maybe even put a 20 right here. Okay. So we'll set 20, sample all layers. I'll go down. Okay, and I want to be sure it's soft brush hardness, very soft as we can. And we'll just modifying size of the brush, so you can go press Alt, select, and you can see just brush in some of those details right here. And you notice I'm sampling, so for example right here I can sample a little bit, add kind of a little bit on his. Again, some people may confuse this with dodge and burn. This is not dodge and burn. This is we modifying general shape, because don't think about this as a color. In some cases, if you want it, you can always add just black and white layer to this. Okay, on that case we need it selecting, so and you can go ahead and work as a black and white to preview, to fix some of the shape. Think about this. This is a shape changing. It's not well, fixing this distortion. It's not color modifying. However, it is color will apply when you start working with this. Nice tool also to remove some shadowing if you have some shadow under eyes or other places. And in some cases we can use this to smudge a little bit this grain out. So just a little bit. Again, the one thing, we don't move all grain out, because a lot of these textures it's preserved in other layer, so it's the skin texture, it's preserved. Okay, mostly I'm just want to remove some of these spots. Not all the way, just a little bit smooth them out. Okay, right here I don't like this, so we'll go select, and I used Alt to sample colors and just match kind of around. Okay, right here. Just try to take colors, and we'll go with small steps. And just a little bit softer. Okay. Okay, overall. Okay, let's zoom out. Okay, I think it's look clean. We look on the hands, and hands right here, just a little bit smooth them out. Remove some of those noise. Shadowing. Okay, I won't touch the pants another right here a little bit. Okay, if you work with a female model, sometimes you can use the same things to remove any wrinkles. It's very easy and to do same way, but for the male I'm actually will leave like this. Okay, next what I want to do is open our okay, enable high pass, and this is more texture of the skin. You can see how it's come up. We'll select the fixed layer, and one thing what I want to do, I want to add a curve, and on this curve I'm going to bring this about to the middle, this center, so you can see it's kind of easy. Just be sure it's going around on the middle. This is again, it's just temporary curve to help us to see all these details. You can see how much they brought them up. And opposite on this one, if we're using soft brush on a low, you want to use as soft as possible. On this one, we want to use as hard as possible. So opacity 100, current and below layers, and we'll go be sure the hard edges. So on this way we can work very well. So we're going to go select sample area right here, and you can see just kind of sample and click. So we can fix some of this. If you got plenty of the texture, we actually can easily shave him, remove all beard and mustache, but I don't want to do right now. I want to actually keep it that we have, but right here, okay, you also notice I have it align. So it's meaning align when I start moving. You can see the sampling is moving as well, so it does not repeating itself. Okay, we're going right here, fixing some effects. We can preview. Again, we have our layer enabled, so before and after you can see slight modification. Here. Okay, so we're going down right here. Let's go fix it. Some of this. And mostly remember this is a small detail, so I do want kind of matching textures as closer as possible to those areas. Same things, we can just easily remove the hair. I want to keep this hair, but if you have a hair somewhere, you need to you want to remove hair line. This is one of the easiest way. Again, and if you're going very close, like around eye, you have maybe hair right here. If you're using healing brush, you will start having this halos. It's because how the Photoshop will process it, using the same algorithm similar to the frequency separations. But with this case, you have it more way to control it, what areas you do, and sharpness of the edges. Then other ways you don't. So it doesn't mean you don't need to use it. You can always go ahead and use it. Frequency separate the normal healing brush for some jobs that will save you time. But again, I just want say the frequency separation, it's for the fixing, and if you want you can use it for some effect as dodge and burn, but it's not primary work as a dodge and burn tool. This is mostly to separate frequency on contrast on details and work with them on this level. So for what you're using, it's up to your creativity point. Okay, I think we're kind of almost done. Just right there, a little bit more freckles to remove it. Okay. Okay, I think right here, let me see now. This look good. Okay, we can always come back if you need it, work a little bit more on our hands, but I want his hands look rough. So we'll just leave it like this. And I think that does look good. So let's go disable this test layer. And here's our before and after. And you can see we're kind of done with fixing overall. So let's go ahead and next we start to actually work a little bit more on dodge and burn. I want to leave his grungy look, rough look, kind of a little bit this grainy. So yeah, let's go ahead and work a little bit more on adding shapes to his face.